Okay, welcome everybody to a mid-season break, the GT4 doubleheader at Barcelona. As we jump into qualifying, we will get on board with somebody who decided to go out. It looks like two people are going double wide here through the pit lane. And with me, I'm Alvarez, the commentator here, and I have another commentator with me. I have Jet Engleman, aka Elroy Jetson, Space Cowboy, aka Livery Legend Jet Black, the Tennessee Tornado, and he is with me as the second commentator. Jet,
You got it all right. That's actually pretty sweet. That was really smooth. Liked
really
it.
smooth. Yeah. All
Oh
right.
yeah, no, I'm excited to be here. It looks like as we kind of get prepared for the next season, drivers are starting to get used to their cars, find some pace, and we will kind of see a little preview of what things are going to look like as we get closer to the start of the season.
And yeah, one of the things to note here is that Richie Giralman and Josh Willis are two of the faster paced drivers in the GT4 league as well as the GT3. But for them to be so close to each other on their outlap, it's just it's a little telling to see how this battle's gonna unfold during their hot their hot lap. Oh, look, he gives up the position to him.
I like it. No, it's definitely we've got time to be 100% serious during the season. This whole off season is to just kind of let everybody reset, take a big breath, and kind of get back off our heels. And so the playfulness is fun. I like to see that for sure.
It's funny you asked me that because I
And what do we have here? These two drivers are gonna let another, is that Pickraw in front, and I don't know what the whole stacking up is, but I feel like they're just taunting each other in some way. We'll just go on board with Pickerel, who's gonna be the first driver starting his hot lap with the Totally Legit Racing Team, aka Rich Energy.
I do know sometimes it's pretty easy to kind of get bunched up in that chicane there, but this definitely looked
Oh,
a little bit more intentional than that.
yeah, as Richie Girolamo has gone through that first corner and lost control. He is pulled out a yellow. So, a little caution on the track there for people going through turn one. He was not able to stick that first corner. But Josh Willis is only half a second behind um, Andrew Pickle here.
It'll be interesting to see how that delta changes because now that neither of them can really get off their lap with being qualifying, they're gonna, if they run another lap, they're gonna have to just kind of stick close together if they want to keep pace.
Well,
Kind of an
absolutely.
unfortunate way for Geralman to start his qualifying session, but luckily it's kind of a longer session, so he should be able to get out and still get some laps.
Yeah, and we see not only is like Josh Willis like really being pretty aggressive towards Pickrell here. He's might be feeling a little bit of frustration. He was trying to be the first one out there on the track, and he was playing little games with Geralman there. So we'll see if his pace isn't going to improve on the second lap, as he might build a gap to Pickrell here.
I couldn't imagine any scenario why that would be what he was wanting to do there at the start, but as long as he went a little bit wide there.
155.7 as he holds the fast. Oh, spoke too soon. I think let's go on board
Josh
with
catch
Josh.
him?
Yeah, Josh has a 155.5, but Josh didn't have a valid lap. It appears that he was invalidated at some point when he was driving. So Pickrell lost that title to Rudy Manier as he, or Riley Manier, as he has the fastest lap now. And we'll just quickly go over there and see that he has a 155.1. So that is the fastest lap. And Pickrell's going is still in pole position in second, so he's not doing too bad. We'll see if he can improve upon
With
his time.
the better part of 6 minutes and a lap still to go. I mean, there's a lot of change-ups could happen as the track gets warm, as drivers find grip, as
Yeah, absolutely.
they kind of figure out the track a little bit better. And
Well, and that's something to note is that the qualifying time is, we got 4 minutes and 30 seconds left, but that's still good enough to get 3 valid laps in, depending on where you're at on the track right now.
yeah, yeah, these cars right here should. Well, I think they're going to be a little bit behind that, aren't they?
Yeah, as Eric Miller is just slightly in front of Andrew Pickrell here, so it's going to be tough to see if he's going to improve upon his time with some traffic ahead of him on his hot lap. We'll just quickly go on board to see if he's going to improve upon this. It doesn't... Oh, there you go. 154.3. As Josh pulls in a 154.7.
Starting to tick down. I'd look to Pickerel to improve upon that. Even he seems to really grasp cars on the edge and grip. So he's only got upward ways to go as he burns fuel and the track gets warmer.
Yeah, and it's unfortunate for him as he is gonna pull out here. You can totally see that he was at traffic by Eric Miller was not going to be able for him to improve upon his time. Maybe he'll try to build some distance from these other drivers on his next attempt. As we'll go on.
Yep, he's just going to want to make sure to slot in pretty close behind somebody and keep his tires warm.
And we did see Riley Manier with the Greendale Community College team has improved upon his time, but it wasn't fast enough to be Andrew Pickrell here. So one of the things that I've noticed is that people, they sleep on some of these drivers that really have strong pace, and Pickrell has definitely shown that. Especially his improvement over the last mid-season break has really showed with the GT4 series. What do you think, Jep?
I would totally agree. I think my first season racing against Pickerel, he was in the NSX and was fast with that car on a good handful of tracks. And not having so much time this last season in GT3, I wasn't able to kind of see where he landed there. But being that he drove the Janetta in GT4 last season, which is one of those cars that you can find pace in if you just know how to get a car to its grip, which he's really good at. So I think once he settles in with a lot of cars, he could be really good in the Cup Series as well.
Yeah, I agree completely. One of the things is that so far he has pulled to the pits and he is holding pole position with 1:30 left. We're gonna have to see some drastic changes from some other drivers as I'm trying to pull along to see if anyone's going to be able to get a better time than that. So we see Ray Frias is in 4th place right now, but he has been able to hold his position. We have Pickrell in 1st, Riley Manier in 2nd, and Josh Willis, who's also pitted, in 3rd. And it looks like Wildebeest is pitted, and he's not going to be improved upon his position on the field. Out of the people that are not or that have not pitted right now, is there anyone that you're looking at that looks like they might have a great contention going forward besides Riley Manier, who's still pushing, who's in P2?
I'd head back and look at Richie, see what his latest is up to. One of our newer drivers, Provolone, I've gotten to race against him in a few different races, and we've had a couple good battles, and then just found ourselves kind of nearby on track. And he seems like a pretty fast racer who is pretty consistent, and I think has a lot of ability to improve as he gets better with cars through these classes.
Oh, yeah, Cool. And I guess just to throw that out there, 949 Sim Racing just hosted us with 20 viewers. So, hey, thanks for everybody joining us. We're going to be starting a doubleheader at Barcelona. It's an open lobby GT4 with a lot of our Tracklicious Sim Racing drivers. Just a little break before we start the next season, GT3 and GT4 series, and the Porsche Cup series. Oh, and thank you for the follow, Whelp Cakes.
Ooh. Oh wow, he's really.
He did
I
not.
think I saw Richie go wide and invalidate his lap a little bit earlier in the sector, and looks like maybe he was just digging around a little bit out there while he was.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably just trying to find a comfortable pace. I mean, he's still P4, so that he's got that going for him. So we see Provolone's coming across the line. See if he tries to improve upon his time here. Hey,
Good exit.
thanks, Mr. Shy Guy, for the follow. He's not able to improve, and he's going to stay in P7. You see a lot of these drivers are ending up here. This driver is invalidated. Go on. Whoa.
Oh.
Eric Akassian is not able to improve upon his time as he has gone wide through the chicane there.
Well, at least he looked good doing it.
Yeah. As we have overall, this race is starting 30-minute race with Andrew Pickrell in first, Riley Manier in second, Josh Willis in third, Richie Girolamo in fourth, Ray Frias in fifth, Eric Miller in sixth, Jason Provolone in seventh, Trav Hummer in eighth, Mike Burkhoff in ninth, and then the rest will definitely be seen at some point on the track. And just going through the lineup here, you can see some of the custom liveries by some of the drivers.
We do have a lot of custom liveries for pretty much all of our different leagues this coming season between GT3, GT4, and Cup.
Yeah, this is going to be that was the Betelgeuse team, and this is the Flying Lizards team. As we can see that they have Jet. Oh, this is your livery, actually. Jet, Romulus, and Miller. And then we
It
have
is actually, yeah.
the Locos Tacos team. Sporting some interesting stuff going on. Actually, I think it's the top of their thing. Block Power. It's definitely different.
I like those colors, yeah.
We got a little Patrick Cone here for the Amazon Web Services. Insights team, I believe, is who they are. We've got 2 minutes left before the session starts. I don't even. This is the Greendale Community College team, so we'll just get a good pan on that. I'm not going to say that out loud, but you can definitely read the context there. And then going down the lineup, we have the what is it? The TWP Racing team, and they have actually two teams, Alpha and Bravo. So we'll see that going on. And then the Third Eye team, the interesting tool concept there.
I really love those colors. Yeah, it really plays nice.
And Jet is actually on the Flying Lizards team, who has two of their drivers on the field right now, but they are they're missing their third driver because he is out of town. As we also have the Rich Energy with the Totally Legit Racing team. And we'll just scroll.
That's a really nice livery for one of the ones to come in kind of late. I think it just posted maybe a week ago or so, but yeah, they did a good job with that.
Yeah,
the Rich Energy.
And somebody in chat was wondering if they should buy ACC, if it's worth it. It's worth it if you want to get into some really great sim racing from people that are actually going to be, mostly safe, and they're not going to try to torpedo you through the first chicane at Monza. So, and it's also great to just get into a league because they offer the best the best for what you want to do if you're driving. What would you say, Jet? Is it worth it? I think it's
Yeah,
worth
I
it.
mean, leagues. There's different facets towards the benefits of driving with the same drivers between just finding your own consistency and seeing where and how you stack up and where you can uh, learn to gain speed and up to things as just being able to uh, know driver styles and who you feel like you can be comfortable around and trusting drivers and such, and that's really hard to do in a lot of public lobbies. And leagues are fun, especially on Discord. It's a really friendly atmosphere, and obviously it lets people be creative in a lot of ways as well. So I'm a fan.
As we're going to be starting this off, I'm actually going to go to a helo cam because this first corner could be tricky, especially with everybody forming on the grid before the race starts. Let's see. I have 500 RS. 500 RS. I don't actually know what currency that is, but it's a low bar when you first start in sim racing. So we see.
Yeah, I do believe ACC is actually on sale on Steam right now
Ooh,
as
as
well.
Pickrell goes extremely wide there, we do have some clean drivers. No yellow flags yet, as he has dropped down the board here. We're going to be going on board with him. He is now P3 as Josh Willis has also overtaken him through that first corner.
He definitely kind of chose the long way around and the bumpy way around.
Yeah.
Like Riley got a wide but really powerful exit out of that downhill section. Looks like he might be pulling away a little bit early. Hopefully we can keep the field tight and see some good battles up front.
Yeah, as we actually do see a battle kind of forming here as one of these drivers, Trev Hummer's behind Jason Provolone in the TWP Racing, but they also have Mike Burkhoff, who has already jumped up 2 positions since the start of this race. And he is one of those drivers that you're going to see overtakes occur. He's pretty quick.
Yep. Yeah, no, he's usually on the good side of the overtake. You'll see him cut through a field when he gets put back on qualifying, and he's consistent too. So once he gets those positions away from you, it's hard to get it back.
Oh, absolutely. It's John Johnson 559. Thanks for following. We see a little gap forming with these drivers in the front.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how each car is able to perform in each sector and if they can stay close. But up and down these straights, it's really, really important to nail your exits and just really be able to get the hammer down and create that gap before you get to those high rev lines and the cars start to gas out.
Yeah. And one of the things that you will definitely see from Riley Manier, Josh Willis, is they are pretty consistent drivers in the pole positions. So we're just going to see them have like a healthy gap of like a couple, maybe just a second off each other, especially with Pickrell and Rich Geralman, who are very strong drivers. So these 4 are definitely going to set consistent laps that are probably better than the qualifying laps that they made, their qualifying times. You could already see that from 4 to 5, there is a gap forming. These 4 drivers are definitely going to start pulling away from the pack.
These are definitely 4 seasoned drivers that have been with Trackalicious and related series for.
Oh.
Wow, that's an excellent rejoin there.
Yeah,
Not quite.
Trev Hummer goes wide and has now lost multiple positions to other drivers here. We'll see him try to fight back to get into a better position here. Maybe he will. Sometimes you get those
Yeah, we'll see.
drivers
I mean,
that,
he's
yeah,
I've raced alongside him a couple times, and he's got some pace too. I think he actually does really, especially like GT4. So
yeah, that is his
uh,
specialty. And with these drivers, sometimes when they make a mistake like that, they're definitely going to get really aggressive and try to retake positions quickly. We'll see if he's able to do it in his first turn, and then switch over to someone else.
yeah, I'd say with 26 minutes left, have a little patience, and yeah, the same thing happened to me last week in the Porsche Cup when I spun out after leading the race for a while, and I granted I didn't have a whole lot of time to make my way back, but I just tried to stay patient. I think that's a big thing when you've got that kind of a situation.
All right, we're going to pull away from him as we see two drivers really going at it here. We have Josh Willis, who has just been overtaken by Andrew Pickrell, and now takes P2 from him. We're on board with Richie Girolman, who's in P4 with the TWP racing team, as he is watching two really juggernauts go at it. He's definitely going to capitalize on one of the mistakes that is going to occur when these drivers start to, make that overtake. And you already see he had a way better exit than these two drivers did.
Yeah, that's easy to do when you've got two guys fighting and one's maybe poking his nose inside, and then he might not have the greatest exit. Sometimes if you kind of hang back and give them their room to fight, you can really nail your exit and make it up on them down the next straight, which is between that and the size of the hole that these cars punch in the air and getting a good draft. It's a lot of benefit on that straight.
Yeah, and just to go upon what you just said, is for that other person in the chat. One of the great things about ACC is it's the most direct link to the GT3, GT4 series, because it uses the actual racing logs, the data from the cars themselves, and it's pulled directly into the game. And they do tweak it, but it's the most realistic interpretation of these cars you're going to find in any game, as we see both those cars go double wide through that corner. And just as quickly against this, Mike Burkhoff has pulled 2 positions while we have been watching this race here. He is now in P6.
Yeah, his delta seems to be shrinking up to Frias too, so I mean that could turn into something here pretty quick.
Oh, as Josh goes really wide, as Richie goes straight through that. Some mistakes that occurred right there.
Yeah, Josh he's a hard defender, and he's also a kind of a hard attacker. He'll poke his nose in there. He doesn't necessarily make any or try to make any moves that would cause contact or anything of the sort, but he does kind of like to work a little bit to get you off your kilter, which is a driving style I can appreciate for sure. But when it does lead to contact, which I couldn't tell there, but
Yeah, you really can't tell what happened there. It looked like he made a broken late, and then Richie also had broken late because he missed his line as well. And now he's stuck between a third eye sandwich with Ray Frias on the back end of Richie Girolman, and then his teammate in front of him. So we also see Mike Perkoff. Man, this driver is just aggressive. He's already P6 from starting at P10 when this race started. So we'll see him go on the attack against Ray very shortly.
Yeah, and you can see he's not pushing too hard. He's not, and that is a little bit more like Burkhoff. He definitely wants to make sure he stays out on the track and just stays consistent. But he'll stay up there and pressure you and look up, just like down the straight. Look at the toe he's getting now. He gets his overtake, and he didn't have to push too hard. So that really worked out to his benefit with his setup there. So yeah, there's another spot. I fully believe he can get more.
And as we just saw, he was able to make that clean overtake. Looked like it was just a calculated attack.
Yep. Yeah, he stayed consistent. Didn't make too many mistakes to give him a bad third sector and a bad exit out of that final turn into the long straight, and then once he got the toe, it was all but done. It was all but sealed.
Go back on board with Trav Hummer, who looks to be trying to make a move on Eric Miller here. He was close enough to do it on that last turn, but it looks like he's breaking away. And you can see on the track itself, these drivers are very consistent with their times, and they are all just within, you know, half a second from each other. And you're going to probably see that for the majority of this race if no one makes huge mistakes.
Yeah, it's definitely a good diverse field of some new drivers, new to the game as well as new to the community, but as well as veterans, and talent runs up and down the same way, and it really makes for some good fun racing. I think the veterans and the you know the let's just say our really fast guys. I think make it more competitive, and make the other drivers more competitive too, knowing that they've got people that they can look to and also rely on to not, you know, have their race spoiled by too often.
As we'll just quickly go to show that we have Riley Manier of the Greendale Community College is almost 5 seconds away from the nearest driver with his fastest pace. It was a 154 flat. I mean, no one's going to really catch this driver at this point. I mean, we still have 19 minutes and 45 seconds, but the one thing you can count on with Manier is that his pace and consistency don't need other drivers around him for him to maintain that. So I wouldn't say it. I'm not going to try to comment on it because you don't want to get the commentator's curse on these drivers, but he's gonna have he's gonna hold a clear lead for a long time, as these other drivers are really just stacking up with each other. As Andrew Pickrell has a decent gap from Josh Willis with a second, and as long as he stays consistent, he'll hold it.
Yeah, no, I agree. I see that too. Riley's definitely got comfortable pace. I guess it's what I would call it, where he's just always got that speed, and even when there's not somebody right up against him, and it's what makes it especially hard to catch him when he doesn't let off, but he stays consistent. So yeah, once he starts getting that gap in first place, most of the time the race ends up being his.
Yeah, and that's one thing you can see as I cycle through the leaderboard here is the drivers, their best time versus their last time is usually around the same, like a second off, or consistently the same. But we're seeing a lot of 155s and high 155s on the 10s. So I don't think we're gonna see these drivers get anywhere closer, especially when you're going towards the back of the pack here. We have Wildebeest with Inside Racing. His best time was a 157. And then also another Norman Chan with a 157 going across the line, pulling a 158 flat. There's Romulus.
Yeah, but that again, that speaks to 10 places down, even though they're tight and kind of close to each other, and overall the field is still pretty tight. You've got different paces throughout this field a little bit, which bodes well for drivers that are looking maybe for a place to land, and want to know that even if they're not racing for the first spot, that they're racing for a spot, and getting the fun out of this game, where you can really get some good battles, especially in GT4.
Yeah, and while we're on that, we just saw that Fractal, one of the open lobby drivers, was able to overtake Romulus here, the Flying Lizard Racing. See, Eric Cassian's in a battle of its own. The nearest driver is 21 seconds off in the backfield, and another 5 seconds in front of him to get to 13. Oh, as we see this driver,
it's like he might be battling the track a little bit harder than he's battling the drivers at this point. Which, oh man, who is that?
Fractal just goes
Fractal
off.
and Porsche.
Porsche in car number 1-4. Promise is able to just maintain his consistency and get through that. Oh, as we see a Trev Hummer getting close to Ray, and that's honestly, I should be following it more consistently, but Mike Burkhoff is now in P5.
Yeah, we saw him with that overtake down the straight that put him into P5. I don't know if he's moved since then, but
Oh, was that when he went
he's,
P5?
I mean, look at now he's P5 and a third of a second off of 4 and 3. So this three-way battle's only going to heat up. There's I think they might have had a little bit of
Yeah, there's
a
a little bit
nudge
of
there, but
contact there because
yeah,
Trev did go a little off on that. And oh, we see that
that
back.
makes it easier for Josh to get away. Oh, was that Ray that had it off?
Ray and Ray had a little. I don't know if it was an incident, but Provolone and Frias have both had a little bit of maybe contact because they slowed down to that first turn, and that's why they're like neck and neck right now. Just see him in that rear view. That's a little intimidating when you got a car that's just burning down quickly on that back end as you're trying to stay consistent in the front. Halfway through the race. I think it's maybe safe to say he's going to be okay right now. For Mike Burkhoff, he's made his overtakes on that straight, so maybe we'll see something happen here.
See if he gets that exit here. He's just right in line for a good tow.
Richie Girolman is trying to break that toe a little bit right there.
It was smart of Richie to defend the inside here. We'll have to kind of see. Hopefully he doesn't overshoot. Yeah, because now with the amount of compromise you have to make for this next turn, Richie was able to just kind of carry a lower speed through and not brake so hard and found himself with the momentum. But that battle's definitely not over.
Yeah, and it looks like that for Trev Hummer and Ray Frias as well as Trev goes in on the inside and tries to maintain this overtake, but all Ray really has to do is hold that inside line, which he does successfully, and it's great defending from him.
Yeah, we'll just have to see how Trev Hummer comes back and is able to maneuver as we get up closer to this next straight. Maybe he's able to get into a tow or outbrake, or it looks like he got a little wide there, almost went into the sand. So we'll see how that affects his straight exit. But he looks to be carrying a pretty good amount of speed down. So.
And one thing to note with Mike Burkhoff is he has a 155.2, and the tenths are 155.4 with Richie Girolman, his best time. So they're literally 2 tenths off, in terms of pace. So I think we might see Richie, Mike Burkhoff
Richie got a little wide there, and yep. Oh, here comes the exit. Oh boy, yeah, this is gonna be spicy. Get in the tow or to just stay out there, and that's a tough question.
He's really just trying to defend that inside line now.
Yeah. Probably would have been smarter for Richie to go inside and drive on the cooler part of the track where he could maybe cool his tires down after kind of skidding around in sector 3. But
there's massive contact, and Richie goes into the wall, and Mike Burkhoff also goes, but Mike's going to continue driving, so is Richie. But there's a little bit of contact there. It's massive contact with Trev. And Mike Burkhoff is in the sand right there, so we're going to continue to follow this. Oh, that is unfortunate, as that yellow flag is going to be holding. As Mike Burkhoff goes into the pits, that's going to end his race.
Man, he was having a really good race up to that point. It's really sad to see. I don't know what happened with Trev, if he just didn't see the difference in speed going around that turn, or It was maybe a little unclear which way Mike was going to go, and he just kind of made a wrong decision there. But yeah, it's unfortunate. Coming up on the back end of Sector 3, we've got Richie Geralman behind Ray Frias and Eric Miller, which should be a consistent battle. It could go back and forth. You might see some change-ups, but I wouldn't bank on this gap getting or any of these drivers getting too separated from each other. It looks like they both have pretty similar pace too, all three of them.
And after what happened last lap, a lot of these drivers are probably that were involved in that are probably just trying to regain focus and composure. And this lap is going to be where they try to do that. With Richie, it's going from P6, trying to work his way back to P4.
Well, it looked like Miller went a little bit deep into the braking zone, so we'll see how these two can. Was there? I didn't see if there was contact there.
Not contact, but he did have to go wide to avoid the contact. Ray Frias did not have enough speed going through that corner like these other drivers did. Trev Hummer is now starting to make his way closer to that pack of drivers in the back right there, as you see in the rearview mirror.
Looks like Richie's looking to overtake through this turn here. Looks like a successful overtake, and everybody stayed clean.
As Trev Hummer's also going to have a go at Ray. He's unable to capitalize on it, but you've been seeing these two battle like this entire race. Ray did go a little wide, and there's contact right there as well. So, this.
I thought that might have just been the curve. He looked like he was trying to kind of try and cut in and find that gap. Just didn't quite have it. Looks like he did get a better exit than Ray out of the last turn, but Ray might have gotten in his way and held him up a little bit. We'll see if he can pull in the toe. We'll see if this field can tighten up here. He's definitely got faster lap times right now, so Trev might be looking to overtake sometime very soon.
He definitely has a slight impatience to how he's going at this driver. He's getting really close, and some contact has been made, but he has the pace to be faster, and that's where you just really see the impatience show. And any driver would be like this as well.
Yeah, but it's up to this point, from what I've seen through this cam, it's not really it's a pretty kind of a smart impatience. It's going around the outside trying to carry speed rather than poking his nose on the inside and possibly causing too much contact. And I think he probably knows his way well enough around this car and this track to know where the secrets are to be able to make this maneuver.
They're building a slight gap here. I'm going to take a look at some other drivers here. So you have Wildebeest kind of in a battle of his own. We see Romulus and Eric Cassian are pretty close to each other, battling for P11. So the best of
let's
Riley
pick up
Muir.
that let's pick up that race for 11.
Oh.
Let's take a look at that for a minute. Oh, going at him with the flashers. It looks like Eric has figured out the braking really well on the Porsche. He's able to outbrake the Aston through
What
through
was
some
that?
of these points. And
Does that look like contact on the back end of Romulus there? Is that my imagination? I can't
that's
quite
certainly,
tell.
yeah, that there is
Oh
definitely
yeah,
contact there.
there's some hurt feelings there. Not done by Eric
Eric got a
Cassian. We
really
don't
good
know. So
Eric got a really good exit. Looks like he's getting a good tow.
it's
Letting him
flashing
know he's
now.
there. Yep, that's just a friendly flash. He's a track day organizer by night, so he definitely likes to use courtesies when he can.
And there we go.
Got by him clean.
Beautiful driving. So we have all three TWP drivers. Trev in sixth, Richie Girolman in fifth, and Jason Provolone in seventh. I did that a little out of whack, but one of them doesn't look like the other, that's for sure. I think we're just sleeping on Eric Miller because he also started from the backfield and he's now P4. So good for Eric Miller here in Flying Lizard Racing. He's got some good
Yeah, I
distance.
think he has races like that pretty often where his consistency just sometimes when it's a war of attrition and between getting used to the track and the track temp and his tires and just staying consistent and staying relaxed. He doesn't overdrive the car too often, so he usually doesn't find himself with problems later in the race when people that are struggling with tire grip can find themselves in danger.
His B Moda is off the track right there, but he gives clear distance for Andrew Pickrell, who's still in P2. Best of a 155 flat, and Riley Minier with a 154.7. So don't see, a gap forming with 4 minutes left in this race. As Josh Willis is also making really good times with the 154.6. He's actually faster than Pickrell on his best lap, but with 4 minutes left, I don't think there's much going to happen here between these drivers. He's got a 5-second gap on him.
Yeah, that gap has certainly spread out a little bit.
Oh. So one of the I can't even tell which driver that was, but we had a driver that went off track right there.
Well, it looks like we got 3 cars that are all on the same lap there if we want to kind of pick up this 10th place.
Yeah, let's just hold on here for a second and take a look at what's happening. Oh, is
Yeah,
Romulus goes wide.
Chan's one of the newer drivers that's just joined our server very recently, so don't really know much about him or his pace or his driving style. It'll be interesting to see what maneuvers Ducassian takes to get around him if he can. And Eric does really seem to be grasping that Porsche really well. That's good to see.
Okay. And, with 2 minutes, 15 seconds left on the clock, I wonder if anything really is going to happen. I remember saying this last time I was streaming and commentating for this one of the races, and the worst possibility of something happening happened during going through turn one. 3 drivers get into a massive racing incident, and another driver gets collected in that incident, and you're just like, with the last lap too, where you can't fathom that's the possibility that happens, but anything's possible at any point of these races, even with the number 1 and 2 and 3.
It's true, yeah. I mean, as drivers tend to, if the grid is stacked up and you are on that last lap, it's you know you've made it a long ways, but you also at the same time the clock's ticking if you're not in first place, and that's where you want to be. So drivers tend to kind of maybe make moves that are a little chancier, and most of the time that doesn't end up going exactly the way they want. Oftentimes it ends up going not the way they want at all.
And with the leader going on the final lap, we are, and with all these drivers spread out so much so, it's going to be a challenge to see if anyone. Oh, and there you have it. Richard Geralman has a drive-through penalty, and if he does not serve it on this final lap, he will end up with a massive time penalty added to his total
Yeah,
finish.
it might be just like a 30-second. I can't remember what the penalty turns into, but
I, I think
yeah,
it's
that's going to put
120
him back
seconds.
to wow.
If
Yeah,
I'm
that's
not mistaken, a drive-through, if not served, turns into a lengthy time. It's not like 5-10 seconds off your pace. They really pull you back. Um, so we could really realistically see Richie Geralman,
you
P,
could drop down to 14th, 15th.
yeah, P8. I was thinking P8, P9, but was we have one of the drivers just must be something.
Or sorry, yeah, no, you're right. P8 or P9. Wasn't looking at the relatives correct. But yes, you're right.
And we'll just stay on board with our race lead, who is hasn't had a lot of screen time, but when you're racing yourself essentially, and you're really gonna stand out, and no one's really getting close to what Riley's doing here.
No, yeah, he definitely deserves a tip of the hat for this performance, just because it was so consistent that yeah, he drove himself out of the race. So while he didn't get a whole lot of time, he definitely pulled off a really good race, and because of his speed and consistency, um,
Yeah,
you know,
Riley Meniere's
made it nice.
P1.
Yeah,
Andrew Pickrell P2 as he goes across. Josh Willis P3. Eric Miller's going to round this out at P4 with Richie Geralman not serving his time penalty. That's a 30-second penalty that he just received, so he is going to be going down that bracket board pretty quick. And so we have a lot of the drivers going across the line. Oh, as we have actually an interesting thing happen here is we have Eric Cassian is behind Romulus, who was able to overtake him at some point as they're going through these final chicanes. Chan's going to be able to hold on to his position.
yeah. I'm not. It'd be interesting to go back and see what happened there. Obviously, it'd be. I don't know if he got hung up with Chan while they were battling, and it ended up. That was a really great close effort, and going around the wide side there and really um, trying to get as much speed as he could. That he really made that a great drag race at the end there. But yeah, I don't know if he got hung up with Chan and allowed Romulus back in, but definitely a fun, interesting last minute little switch up with a really nail biting end there for sure.
Yeah, and just going down the list, we have all of our finales, but he has that 30-second time penalty, which isn't showing up right this second. So if we were to do, oh, there it goes. We have Meniere P1, Pickrell P2, Willis P3, Eric Miller P4, Hummer P5, Frias 6, Provolone 7. Geralman drops down to 8, like I thought, with that 30-second
Yep.
time penalty. Then Wildebeest 9, Chan 10, Romulus 11, Gucassian 12, Orozco 13, and Mike Burkhoff. Uh, going down the list, a lot of these drivers ended up leaving, but Burkhoff ended up going as well. The session has ended, but it is not over. We will be starting a free practice of 10 minutes, then qualifying at 10, and then a race of 30 again. So if you guys want to stick with us, it's just gonna be a soft 10-minute break here. And I don't know, maybe we can pull some of the drivers in and talk to them about their races.
Yeah, I've got to go and head down to the lobby and grab a package. So I'll be back in just a minute.
Okay. And while we're on free practice, I'll just go on board with whoever just decided to jump down. And that is one of the Insight Racing drivers who was not with us during that first race, but is joining us for the second race. That is Zach Yurt.
What's going on, guys?
Hey, Josh, you were P3. You had a great battle when you were P2. What was it that occurred there that kind of slipped you up and dropped you back? Was it the incident on that turn where Richie Geralman and yourself were, I think you collided. I'm not quite sure, but something happened there. Was it missing your braking
No,
point?
we didn't. We didn't collide. Luckily, what happened is I think we just had too much speed coming out of that corner compared to Pickrell, and with that draft too, it felt like we hit our braking point. So we were talking about it, but we both just ran wide, no contact. We were able to get back on the track, but that lost me a good bit of time compared to Pickrell.
Yeah.
And I just struggled trying to bring it back without cooking the tires. Pressures were good, but I just kept warming them up too much.
And Pickrell was able to easily take a second with his pace, but you were technically faster. Given more time, I believe you would have been able to, pull back those 5 seconds he had on you and actually come back. But I mean, you did.
Yeah, I think if I could have got the lead, I could have probably defended it with my pace. But unfortunately, I just had a hard time with the tires there and lost too much in the middle of the race. So just clambering back at that pace that he gained on me was a struggle.
Mm-hmm. And is there anything else in that race that really kind of messed you up at all, or were you pretty confident what came of your race?
Oh, that was my first time driving there with the Porsche, so it was a little just trying to figure out the braking points. A couple times I ran wide or just ran a little too deep, and that kind of caught me out. But just got to learn the track a little more and then try harder next time.
Yeah, and one thing I actually wanted to ask you is Ray Frias, your team partner, Third Eye Racing Team. When he was close, was there team orders for you guys to, try to hold back Richie a little bit, because you guys definitely had him in a sandwich?
We weren't really talking about it at that moment. He just wanted to try to get in front of him, but he couldn't until I guess Richie had a collision later. And he tried his hardest to stay in front, but Richie's just got some good pace.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Josh. Do you have anything to add?
Nope, I think that's good. Thanks for everything.
Cool. And with us is the race lead, Riley Manier. Riley, first of all, amazing race. We hardly saw you, but we knew where you were at, and we just want to clarify that now. You had a huge gap that started to form off the first couple laps. What do you have to say?
I got lucky that Pickle kind of overshot the first corner. I thought he was pretty fast. He overshot the first corner, got held up by Josh, and I pulled away. Was able to pull a bit of a gap, and then I think he kind of might have lost a little bit of momentum, and I felt like I kind of gained it, so felt good.
Yeah, and also driver of the day. Really, you also had the fastest lap out of any driver on the track. So, I mean, you had the consistency and the pace. And at one point, we lost where you were at because you were just so far ahead. Your main battle was right at the start, right there, where Pickrell did lose it a little bit. But did you feel like you were going to be able to take him anyway within that first lap, or were you going to try to be a little bit consistent?
My plan was just try and break at the right time, try and fight him around the first corner, and maybe try and get in front of him. But he kind of did my job for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything you want to add to your win?
No, I'm pretty happy. Hopefully, you know, I can continue the pace into this next race.
Yeah, well, good for you and your team. I mean, you guys did pretty strong. It's unfortunate what happened. Your partner that was on the track, he was also pulling in some great pace. Um, yeah, we just saw an incident that occurred, and it really took him out of the race entirely. But he was going from P10 to P5, so I mean, you got a very
Wow.
strong team partner there.
Yeah. Hopefully he'll have a bit of a better performance here in this next race. I think he can. So
Oh
we'll
yeah,
look forward to
absolutely.
that.
Yeah. Well, thanks.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, so we have 4 minutes and 40 seconds left. Free practice. Just bear with us, and I will be right back.
But I missed some good interviews.
All right. Free practice is coming to a close. Just a quick break for myself. Take a look at Riley Ramirez. He's gonna go on this track to see if he can't just put in a good lap. while we're at it, we'll take a look here and see if we can't get any information. So, the Greendale Community College. It's, they've actually changed their name. They used to be the BRB club, so I'm not entirely sure what happens there, but he's got Mike Burkhoff as a teammate, as well as Constable Cody Wassam. Both these drivers are pretty strong, so he's got a good team. Just they are not here tonight to help him out. The series is going to have a lot of different drivers, a lot of different teams with a lot of different liveries, and that is going to be on these Thursdays, foreseeable future. The schedule is listed below, but also if you join the Discord, you can take a look there. And if you're new to sim racing, or even a veteran, either or, we accept all types of people, and everybody's really friendly and welcoming to new drivers. Everybody starts somewhere. That's free.
Yes, and I'd say the other benefits, especially for newer drivers in our community, especially for ACC, is just kind of being able to walk through anything from how to do your liveries to how to do setups to how to do setups for different races of different lengths, and just a wealth of knowledge, rigs and gear, and just kind of sim racing and motorsport news. Just a lot of community there as well.
Yeah, and it's a community that's growing too. As we actually have the community leader Erica Cassian with us, who also put in a strong pace. Was able to overtake Romulus a couple times, but in the end, you ended up in P13. But what was that experience like?
So yeah, it was pretty fun being one of the slower drivers. It's nice to have some people around, play around with, So between Romulus, myself, and then Norm up ahead slowed down just to play, as it's not a league race at the points. It was fun going back and forth, and I'm not sure if you guys saw, but that finish was pretty tight.
We did. We were looking directly at it. It was you were definitely trying to go for that photo finish to cross the line before him, but it was just some tenths off right there.
Yeah, it was a bit nerve-wracking because the last thing you want to do is hit someone else on track. But yeah, it was fun. Decided to just shoot for it, see what happened, try to get a good run off the last turn and into the straight. So it's just talking to Romulus. I think we both had a good time on that in that race session. So we'll see how the next one goes.
Yeah, well, great. Thanks, Eric, for joining us.
Yeah, I appreciate the bravery driving around the outside on that last turn. That was actually really awesome to watch. Just like wondering, like, he's right on the edge of the grass. It's either going to spin or it's going to maybe pay off.
It was I know I had been chasing him for I think a good 6-7 laps, and when I got up to him, his pace was pretty strong, so it wasn't easy to overtake. That's one of the things that I'm working on right now, is even though sometimes I have, let's say, a half a second or a second pace on the person ahead, speed is one thing, but racecraft is something different. And trying to learn that racecraft in this game has been a bit of a challenge for me, because I don't have a good feel for braking, and that's really where overtaking happens. So that's one thing I'm trying to learn, the fine balance of braking late but not hitting other people. So I knew our pace was close, and I knew I could get a good run on him, and given that it was the last lap, I just decided to lay it all on the table and go for it. So it's pretty fun. Unfortunately, I don't think I got him though. I think he was still ahead of me.
No, he did.
No,
He did.
yeah.
He did take the W on that drag race, but just by
Yeah.
the tiniest little bit. I do gotta
Yeah.
say, it did look. One thing we commented on when you were getting a little bit of screen time was it looks to me like you did have your braking figured out. You were able to outbrake Eric Miller. It looked like pretty handily, and towards the end of some straights, it looked like for a little while until you were able to get or until you had a little bit of a setback, but. Or maybe it was, yeah, I think it was Romulus at that point, but we were watching you go down you had the braking figured out really well, and you also were able to carry a lot of speed. I saw
that first turn, yeah.
out of that kind of uphill right hand turn before the long
Yep.
long back.
Yeah. Actually, so it wasn't Miller. I'd say Miller is probably like a tier above where I am in terms of driving skill right
It was
now. So it was
Romulus,
me and
yeah.
I think it
Romulus
was. I
ultimate.
think it was wrong, as I had it
Yeah.
confused at the time. But yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Who's still like he's a bit newer to ACC. I think he plays AMS2 with you guys quite a bit, so he's a strong driver in some of the other sims and kind of getting up to speed in this one. So it gave me an opportunity to really give it to him a little bit, get at it, and it was fun. Yeah. So again, like you said, just trying to kind of figure it out and. Still don't feel entirely comfortable. I do have a linear pedal, not a load cell one, so it does bug the heck out of me. But that's what the next version, next gen of the sim rig is gonna be for me. Is an all out nice little load cell pedal and good DD steering wheel. So and bass. So hopefully maybe in a year or two we can upgrade and be a little bit more competitive.
Well, let's get tons of Twitch watchers and subscribers, and we'll try to get that to happen as soon as we possibly can.
Yeah, yeah, and you bring up a good point, and being the community owner, we're pushing for more viewers, more subscribers. We're looking for ways to monetize what we're doing, but that money that's coming in is all going to be put towards the server, right? So we're looking to grow and expand and get more streamers and get more just a lot more variety, so hopefully expand into different games, do championships, tournaments, all the different things that some of the more established leagues do. So the where it starts is server capacity, right? So a lot of what we do right now, any finances that come towards Trackalicious will be dumped directly into server capacity, so we could do bigger endurance races, bigger leagues, more leagues, maybe get a second server so we can run two different types of events at the same time. So yeah, lots of room to grow, and we're looking forward to doing that. And it's truly has been completely because of the support of all of the members, right? So I'm just a single individual. I try to help guide the massive body, but it's really all the people and all the community that support the success of this server, and extremely appreciative of everybody in here. You Jeremy doing an amazing job with all the liveries really brings in a lot of people. Jason here, doing an awesome job streaming. So these are little things that go a long way in the server. So greatly appreciate your guys' support.
Yeah, no worries. And
Well, there you have it. Yeah, you heard it, folks, from the owner's mouth. He, if you're new, you're thinking that there's no, maybe no reason or no spot or room for you here on the server. Obviously, if that answer didn't sway you otherwise, I don't know what would. I think it's a great place. So if you're just looking to race and have fun, get to know people, and race kind of consistently, just come check us out.
yeah, as we're
Yeah,
going
and I'll
across the line here, we see Riley Manier is not able to capitalize on his time, which he was almost 4 seconds off of his last time, best of 1:53.9. That's the fastest he's actually gone even last session. It's crazy.
It is interesting. I'm wondering with the track looks very well rubbered in, but I don't know if it's cold. Maybe they're having issues warming up their tires. I'm not sure what the track temperature is. Kind of warm, so maybe it's the other way around. I'm not super sure. Maybe he just was looking for more pace and pushed a little hard.
Yeah, and
Maybe this next time around.
that's what's weird is we only have 3 minutes left of quali, and a lot of these drivers haven't put in like strong laps. We see that
Yeah.
Josh Willis was pushed off of P1 by Riley Manier, and Mike Burkhoff now holds P3, so he actually is pretty consistent there. But Pickerel's sitting at P6.
Riley's in P1 with that 57. So it looks like, it's interesting. I'm hoping to see those times cut down over the next couple minutes. We've got a nice warm track. It's super rubbered in. We should be seeing some good times. So, I mean, it's one of those things where maybe they're trying to find even better times than last time, or you know, uh, otherwise still just kind of getting comfortable and warming up the tires, knowing that, you know, now that they've got a few laps and they can put in a good flyer towards the end of the session.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm actually like I would say like a slight confusion here as to how these drivers aren't pulling in the strengths from that they did last uh last race, so, and the last quali for that matter. Yeah.
Yeah, so Riley's got a 54 now. He's got a 53.9.
Yeah, no, he started with a 150. He started with a 153.9 and was his fastest lap. We see Josh Willis' fastest in sector 2, but Riley holds sector 1 and 3. And then, you really see the clear differences. Andrew Pickrell goes across with a 154.8. He holds P4 now. That's good there.
That's a
And
nice tight field there, having 4 drivers there under a second. That's gonna, hopefully it gets off to a more contentious start up front. Stays clean, but is contentious, and maybe somebody can kind of get Riley on his heels and see if we can have some battles for first for a little while.
yeah, as only half the grid has managed to qualify so far. Will be and a lot of these drivers are open lobby drivers that haven't qualified so far. We have Fractal, Sparrow, Pacheco are all open lobby, and then Raza is a open lobby driver. So, thanks. In Orozco, is that Chan and Yurt have 4 laps, 3 laps, and 1 lap, and none of them have been able to pull in a quali lap with valid time. This qualifying session is ending for all the drivers. He doesn't improve upon his time.
What's that?
And he doesn't improve upon his time, so he's still going to hold P1, but with a previous one that he did. Try to go.
Yeah, I mean that's still a blistering pace for these cars for sure. That's a good pace.
Mm-hmm. Josh is practicing a pit maneuver, maybe? Hey, look at that. P10 for Norman Chan.
Good to see him on the board.
I think we're holding off just because Ali Raza, car number 4, is going through this final chicane. Should be oh, stopping on track. Yeah, we'll call it there. This session is ended. We have our qualifying. Riley Manier P1, Josh Willis P2, Mike Burkhoff P3, Andrew Pickrell P4, Jason Prolone P5, Trev Hummer P6, Ray Freeson P7, and then Ali Raza P8, Wildebeest P9, Norman Chan P10, and the rest, we don't actually know the rest. Oh, there's a couple of them. And, yeah, there we go. And that is going to be the Greendale Community College. It's going to have 2 drivers in pole position. It's a scary thought. These 2 drivers are going to be able to use some team effort in order to manage any driver that's going to be coming in contact with them. So Josh Willis is definitely going to have to hopefully pull away at the start and maintain a distance, or else he's going to find himself in trouble with Riley and Mike just, sandwiching him.
It'll be interesting. Yeah, I think Mike, after last race, having the unfortunate outcome that he did, not really 100% his fault. Might be a little safe trying to kind of maneuver his way around through the first lap. Luckily, he got ahead of maybe a few of the I guess drivers he was having issues with in the first race. So now that he doesn't have to cut through the pack, it'll be interesting to see how his pace works out with a little bit of clean air in front of him and maybe dirty air if he sticks behind the top two and can get a good tow. Maybe he can stick in there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just taking a quick look at the liveries while we go over some of this stuff. I don't even know.
Yeah.
What's that on top? I don't even know how to say that. Do you know how to say that? Chinese?
Magnesia.
Chinese.
Many inside references that I guess you definitely would have to be a community watcher to get nearly any of them, let alone all of them.
Yeah, I really like this this rich energy look. It really just comes together. This has got some of those telltale signs of like kind of how you do your liveries with some accents and some reflections that really just make it pop. Details really matter
Yeah,
there.
kind of playing off of textures more so than just colors. Yeah, it's it reminds me a little bit of my Super Trofeo livery, but definitely, I think honestly, I think that's even probably more well done, or at least more cohesively well done with what they were trying to pull off. There's our Flying Lizard livery that um, I will be a part of at some point in time in this season once I get back home.
It
Kind of a
looks pretty
two-faced
nice.
look.
And we're gonna be starting this race, so I'm gonna go maybe over to the helo cam, just down that first stretch where you get those cars that might bunch up in turn one. We didn't really have that many issues in terms of the driving there, so that was good. No major incidences occurred that we were able to watch. Besides,
Yeah, no lap one T1 deaths, no full course yellows. Looks like even most of our incidents, almost all the drivers were able to get back on track and still have a pretty good race or find somebody to race with. So,
mm-hmm. And this race looks like it's gonna have 17 drivers on the field. So forming up pretty nicely. Green, green, green. Here we go.
got somebody off already.
Couple in the backfield too. If you're that far back, it's best to just play it safe and let these drivers try to go through this first turn, as we see Riley Manier on the inside. So
Very
far,
clean,
so
one all the way up the field. That looks great. You like to see that.
And then we'll pull back over and see if Josh is able to make anything happen on this first couple of turns here. We have he's just half a second off that driver. Is Andrew Pickrell is also just a half second off that driver. And Raza has gone from P8 to P6 through that opening lap, so that's great for him.
Looks like we got some moves coming down the straight.
Ooh,
We got
as
a
Provolone gets overtaken by Eric Miller. Not inside.
yeah. It looks like Miller and also a BMW behind him got some good braking zones in and might have made some overtakes there.
And it looks like Yurt and Orozco are having some. I thought that might have been contact, or it might have been.
Yeah, I think he might have just swung the car's weight a little bit and lit up his rears. And
as we see Eric Cassian is going to go on the inside here and try to take that undercut from looks like Yurt. Unable to hold that, unfortunately. Oh, wait. I spoke too soon.
looks like Yurt
is way
might
off.
have
You know, he's
came in
being...
a little too much speed and drifted out a little bit.
Yeah, but the thing is, this train boy kind of pulled that driver a little wide on Yurt. So what we saw was, you know, what can he do? He can't push. He can't. He has to maintain his wide approach because there's not much else you can do in that scenario.
Is Miller on the outside of Provolone right now? Oh no, he's behind. He's behind him.
Yeah.
He got behind him again.
Oh, and
now it's
Orozco was off course there, and so he's going to be dropping to the back of the pack here. We'll try to get on board with one of the drivers. Ooh. Look at that. Provolone trying to defend his position from the inside here. In the front of the pack, there's still just jump towards it right now from the other car's perspectives.
a little bit of an overdrive in the car there from Raza. Unfortunately, that's going to affect his exit. So whoever's behind him might be looking to make up some time. Ray Frias.
It looks like it. Pull off to the outside here and try to go for that. Unable to make it happen.
Well, his tires might be warm. He did stay on the racing line after kind of heating him up there in the chicane. So Frias might stick on him for a little bit. And I think Frias is hoping for him to make another miscalculation.
Mike Burkhoff is currently P4. He started P3. So Andrew Pickrell was able to get a good position against him at one point. So it's good for Pickrell here. And Burkhoff's definitely going to try to maintain consistency as we have 25 minutes left on this race. Good perspective to see these two drivers kind of going at it from this other viewpoint here, though.
It looks like Willis is right behind Rudy right now. So,
And he's
yeah, this could be a good battle.
This is for 1 and 2 right now. They are so close.
Ooh, got a little curve, got a little squirrely. Now that it's 4:30, the track is cooling down a tiny bit.
A little bit of a breakaway here. Mike Burkhoff is able to pull P3. During those, prior to the chicane on that turn, they were bunched up pretty evenly. Pickrell has lost 2 positions on that. So Trev Hummer was able to capitalize on Pickrell's. Maybe there was a mistake made. We don't really know, but there's definitely an opportunity where Mike and Trev both capitalized on.
Yeah, I mean, this could still definitely stay a battle with 23 minutes left, and
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
yes, some good drivers involved. So we'll definitely have to keep an eye on that for sure.
There's just a small marginal gap forming between the P1 and P2. So it's good for Josh. He was able to hold is that P3 last race, and now he's going to probably be able to hold P2, barring any major issues that occur on this on the track today. But also, just look at the times there. He has a 153.8, and Riley has a 153.9. Both these times are better than the qualifying times and the race pace times of the last session.
Yep.
So there's definitely some confidence
Yeah, I
building.
think it'll be interesting to see if Josh can stay, if he stays close enough to maybe work his way into Rudy's head, Riley's head, I think, nickname Rudy. But yeah, I think Riley's a very consistent driver, and he's been in so many racing situations, and many of them, it seems like he comes out on top. So we'll just have to keep watching that battle, but I hope it stays close.
We go on board with Ray Frias. We're seeing some space occurring on the track between the 1 and 2, as well as the 2 to the 3. So it's going to really be a battle for 4, 5, and 6. Or sorry, 5, 6, and 7. Really, these drivers are really the only ones that are kind of bunched up.
Well, it's looking like some fun battling so far, but Raza makes a
Oh.
miscalculation, comes all the way back across.
That's
Looks like the overtake will probably happen pretty easily right through this turn if they can both, if he carries the speed. Yeah, it looks like he got around.
all it takes is one little miscalculation, and there you go. That's just how it works out in these races. But he is still hot on the heels of Ray Frias, as he's going to go on that outside.
He did get a little later apex, and let's see if, he's got a better exit. Looks like he's going to be able to work his way around Frias right here.
Take a look.
Or, he was close. I think he might have, once he got out of his toe, the Porsche kind of ran out of breath a little bit there, but
I'm sure Ray Frias can definitely feel the heat as Raza is really pulling close to him.
Yep. Here, Frias is just going to want to look to stay consistent, not try to gain any pace, not try to work his way too wide or allow for too much. I think if he just drives his drive, he'll be able to keep that position.
Well, you look at that. There's a lot of driving happening in the backfield here. We got Santiago Orozco really holding it back against Sparrow, as well as Fractal and Train Boy, and you're all just close together. Really just shows you how paced evenly these drivers are in the backfield.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to really drive with too many of these guys besides Eric and Orozco, and again, you'll find fun up and down the field, especially in GT4, where well, with a little bit more of the sports car GT, street car style suspension setup, and not such a heavy reliance on specialized aeros such as diffusers. It's easier to kind of rub and race and work switchback techniques and really kind of be able to push the limits, and that bodes well for newer drivers too, especially if you want good racing action.
Yeah, and as you saw just briefly, Eric Miller was able to squeeze in and make a move on Raza there. So Raza's actually dropped down to the backfield. He must have had some major incident that occurred where, because he was, what, P5?
Yeah, I'm not. It looks like he might be struggling a little bit with consistency so far. Maybe in quali, he had a good lap, and now he's kind of struggling to keep consistent times. But
Yeah,
you know, it happens sometimes, especially when you're racing, or especially if you lose a position or two and you think you deserve to be up higher. You know, a lot of times you get a little bit of aggressive, and that can throw you off even more.
yeah, and I think the key here for Andrew Pickerel, the Totally Legit Racing team, is going to be just consistency over Trev. He's not looking to make strong moves. As one of the driver profiles of this driver, if I can find it, do you know much about Pickerel?
I mean, as far as speed, I know he was really fast in the NSX, and I think he's done the Audi in GT3. Maybe that was what he was in this last season. I can't remember the Lamborghini. I wish I could remember, but he does seem to really do well, especially with mid-engine GT3 cars and even this, you know, the Saudi GT4, but. He was in the Ginetta last season in GT4 and really got a lot of pace out of that because he's one of those drivers who can just really extract pace out of a car by knowing its you know, its edge and its limit. And sometimes you'll see him, you know, make a mistake or two, just like any other driver. Really, I mean, I make plenty of mistakes, but you know, for the most part, um, he stays on the right side of that line of the edge of grit.
Yeah, and you know it says here that he's from Canada. He's been sim racing for 2 years. He started with Project Cars 2 and then switched to ACC when it released. He's his driving style is to leave room for another driver in the lane. So he's gonna be fair as his driving style goes and focus on being consistent without making mistakes. And what's crazy is he completed 100-mile run this summer. That is something you couldn't pay me to do. So congrats on
Nope.
him. That's endurance. So he's
Oh yeah,
definitely
I mean,
used to endurance.
hats off to him. Yeah, our endurance races don't hold a candle to anything like that. I'll say that.
Yeah. As he's
But
trying to make a move on the inside here, he has Trev Hummer. He might be able to pull it off.
yeah, Trev was
Oh,
unable to keep a fender on him, which means he's going to be able to kind of get a little bit more of a gap through this downhill sector. Oh,
oh,
Trev Hummer looked like he
wow.
got a really good exit versus Pickerel. Might be able to get a fender through here.
Oh, wow. He has it.
Yeah,
It's an
that's
even
some good
battle right now.
racing. This next straight could really be where the Aston might be able to pull a toe, and it looks like he's right on him.
Pickerel's got that inside line. I think he's going to be able to hold it.
Yeah, but that outside line, you can pick up some speed sometimes if you kind of apex just a little bit later and tighter. But looks like he might have gotten a little wider there.
Yeah, and it.
Oh, he
So
darts down to close that gap with a really good break and still sticks a really good exit through the final turn. He might be looking to lessen that gap right here and possibly even get around him.
with the best of 154.7 and Trev 155.1, I think
Yeah.
with time, Pickerel is, without making mistakes, is definitely going to pull away from Trev.
Yeah, it does look like the Aston is having trouble catching the Audi in the straights and being able to take advantage of the toe. So
Yeah, and if he gets out of that toe, then it's definitely going to be some pace being pulled away. And just going to the race leads here, starting off with a P1, we have Riley Manier of the Greendale Community College, holding a 4.2 gap from P2. Josh Willis from the Third Eye team with a 153.8 as his best time. And then Mike Burkhoff of the Greendale Community College, 154.6. And his pace from 3 to 4, Andrew Pickrell's got 4 seconds off of him. He's already pulling, a half-second gap from Trev Miller there. And as far as the dynamics are going here, we don't actually have a lot of drivers that are really close together.
Not quite so many battles. It looks like there could be something going on for, what was that, like 12 and 13? Maybe that closed up from what the Delta was saying. Here we go.
Yeah.
Fractal and Wildebeest. 2 public entries, I believe.
Actually, Wildebeest is part of the
Oh,
he's
well,
one of the
pardon me,
newer
I'm-
entries. Yeah, he's
Nice.
got Yurt, who's in P10, and they are actually sporting the same livery, and that is the Insights Racing. They're the one with the little Patrick cone on the side of the car there.
Okay.
And just from this, Fractal is not a part of the league, I don't think, to my knowledge, but he is definitely going to try to make a move on this inside.
Ooh, man, that was really close as they both chose different lines through T1 for sure.
Absolutely, they did. That was it's kind of great defending and great braking there. And look at that, Eric Cassian staying on the inside was able to pull ahead ever so slightly, but I think he's going to take it. Yep, there he goes. As these drivers are still battling it out for this position. That'll be P11 overall. You see Train Boy.
Yeah, not going to get around him there. See if this next exit can shake things up.
Oh, did you hear that? He shifted down when he was going through that apex.
Yeah, maybe he just wanted to feel a little bit more torque in his differential and get that locked feeling in his back and his rear tires.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of get that turn around. But that can usually cause a little more tire skid. And as you see, his tires seem to be warming up on him a little bit. He's getting a little slidey. So
that is Fractal down the inside of these two drivers.
Wow, this is a battle. This is okay. I like this.
Pulls, Train Boy's able to pull off that overtake on Wildebeest there. Now he's going to have a go at Fractal on the inside.
And I mean, this looks pretty clean so far.
Wow.
He did go.
It is great driving right there. As these two are also going to be going double down that first turn.
Well, it's good to see midfield action between some drivers that I'm really not familiar with. With any of them personally, but it's definitely gets me excited for the upcoming season for sure. I feel like I'm saying for sure a lot, and I gotta stop.
Hey, we all have our little eccentricities. I think the one that I definitely.
It looked like Willis went into the sand there a little bit. Might have slowed him down. This could become a.
Ooh, look at that! That is. We have Burkhoff and Pick and Willis here are really going to be going at it. We're half a second off each other.
Well, it's good to see Burkhoff having a better race this time around at this point, for sure. There we go. I said it again.
Well, it could be worse.
We'll get there.
I mean, the staple of what I say is...
That's my, second night ever.
Yeah, when I see incidences occur, I typically go for you hate to see it. And honestly, it's because I just don't have anything else to say. Like, you really hate to see a bad accident occur with, really strong drivers, especially when they have, like, great pace and they're at the front of the the pack.
Oh, that's very true. Yeah. You hate to see anybody's race ruined, really, especially
yeah.
somebody who puts, uh, a lot of time and effort into the races and bettering themselves. And I think part of being able to get out of open lobbies and into a league is it kind of alleviates a little bit of that unknown, gives you just a little bit more of a consistent arena environment to be able to hone your skills with other people.
Mm-hmm.
That was like a good exit, a good balance of getting that car from a little understeer to oversteer and really working that slip angle. He's really getting good acceleration even with that slip. So hopefully he stays on Willis's tail and makes it an exciting next 7 minutes.
Yeah, and one thing you can definitely get from Willis here is that, this is a 30-minute race and we're at 7 minutes 20 seconds. He's a consistent driver and he grows with pace. Like each lap he does, he's just gonna get stronger and stronger and stronger. Some drivers, struggle with consistency, and that's not where his issue is. So it's gonna be hard for Burkhoff to make a move. He's gonna have to not worry about battling it, but just maintaining a good consistency to really get the overtake here.
Yeah, I mean his best bet really though is to just stay as close behind him as he can for now, and it looks like Willis might be struggling for grip on entry in some of these braking zones with heavy trail braking, which can be a factor for the Porsche having that a little bit shorter wheelbase. It can kind of unsettle the car a little bit. So if Burkhoff can put pressure on him into braking zones and get him to go wide, we might be able to see an overtake. But it's gonna take a little bit to catch him first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you can even see right now that he's within half a second of this driver, but it's going to take more than half a second to really make a good, clean overtake happen. And we do have a driver on the field that has had a drive-through. That will be Fractal. We'll definitely have to give up position to Wildebeest at some point.
Yeah, I'd say might as well do it sooner than later. But safely and predictably, of course.
Mm-hmm. It looks like this battle's still going
Yeah.
on.
My eyes might have been deceiving me, or it could have just been a little net code. It looked like a little bit of a wiggle I saw earlier, but it looks like he's here we go.
That's just Josh trying to defend on the inside line there.
Yeah, maybe cool his tires down too.
Ooh, there it goes. That might have been contact. Is he going to give position back to him?
We will have to see. He did flash, so I don't know if that meant you keep going or hey, give me the position back.
Yeah.
Is he still flashing? I can't tell.
No, he's not flashing, but I think they're just going to be driving now, and Josh is going to try to get that overtake. I don't know how clean of an overtake that was because it did look like Josh went a little off there. If we're able to replay it, I think there might have been a small bit of contact which sent Josh slightly askew.
Well, that's the beauty of GT4 is it doesn't end in utter carnage. So both these drivers are able to continue their races, keep it tight. Looks like it's going to be an encore of a show here.
Yeah, with 3 minutes and 30 seconds, Josh is going to just have to hope that Burkhoff makes a mistake if he's not giving up that position back.
Yeah, it'd be an uphill climb for all the other teams if in this second race we get a 1-2 for the community team.
Yeah, the
It's a tough pill
Greendale
to swallow
Community
for everybody
College.
else.
Yeah, it really is, because what we're going to see here during the GT4 series is if Burkhoff and Manier are able to maintain, points, or at least be in the top 5, they're definitely going to break away from the other driver, the team championships. As we have a driver coming out of the pits. Maybe that was the driver serving their time penalty. No, just another driver joining us. And just quickly to pop over, Andrew Pickerel has already pulled a second gap on Trev Hummer, so that just goes to show you where Andrew Pickerel's driving is really at. So we'll go on board with Josh Willis here, see if he can't make a move. Now that little tap, that little brake tap that he did through that corner, is that something you would do?
Through which corner was that one?
That was just the corner before this one. They were going through it, and halfway through that corner, he taps his brakes ever so slightly. Oh, Fractal is disqualified from this race. P13
Oh,
is
he
no
didn't serve
more.
his penalty.
He is, yeah, dropping into the pits. Yeah. Josh has a really clean exit there.
Yeah, I don't know if maybe he was just using the brake tap to get a tiny little bit more rotation around the car quickly through a corner. I wasn't really seeing too closely, but.
And then what does it look like as these cars go? Why?
Yeah, this is a good view for Sector 3 for sure when they're side by side.
Oh, there's a little bit of contact, if I'm not mistaken. Oh,
Yeah,
another little bit of contact.
contact.
Oh, and another little bit of contact. And now he just, he hits him again.
He straightened him out.
Andrew Pickerel is going to pull away.
Yeah.
You wonder.
It's interesting to see because you could tell you could tell the contact was coming, and you could also tell that Willis was having trouble catching grip and was just a little bit slower through there because of that. But I kind of feel that he could have gave him just a little bit more room to get that sorted out. But it's tough as when you're a driver with speed. You don't want to have to slow down when you don't have to slow down.
Absolutely. And
have to have that patience.
With only 26 seconds on this, and the leader's going to be going in the final lap after this lap, you hate to see it,
You hate to see it.
You really hate to see
it. For sure.
It's just, hey, we're at the final 2 laps, and something, going through those chicanes, it's unfortunate that, like, that contact also could be a hindrance to Josh's ability to overtake these drivers.
Yeah, so as far as damage and aerodynamics and such are concerned, but one thing Josh isn't going to do is let these drivers off scotch-free. So, I think he's gonna push right here and keep it really tight. So, I wouldn't really panning anywhere else on the field at this point. Although it does look like Trev Hummer's right on his tail and giving him a little bit of a run as well. So you might be right about that loss in pace. Oh, I think him and Trev Hummer just had contact.
Yeah, that's contact. Yeah.
Yeah, Hummer probably shouldn't have stuck his nose down the inside of that tight downhill corner.
Oh, absolutely. He does give the position back, that's for sure. But that just makes it so these drivers are going to pull away.
Yeah, you see that time ticking off that time clock, and you see your number of turns before your race is over to make that overtake and just kind of make funky decisions sometimes.
Could we just there's probably a little bit of confusion, but oh, the race has ended with those. Oh, so they never even finished that next lap. That was it. Race was over with that. So Riley Manier has no, he hasn't. Um, am I confused? He's dropping. He's in the pits. We have multiple drivers in the
Um,
pits, but only a few drivers have actually finished this race.
I'm not exactly
Is this? It might
sure.
be just a bug, right?
I think it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. If I tab over,
Yep. There's your finish.
Riley Manier P1, Mike Burkhoff P2, Andrew Pickrell P3, Josh Willis P4, Trev Hummer P5, Ray Frias P6, Jason Provolone P7, Eric Miller P8, Raza P9, Yurt P10, and then Wildebeest P11, Sparrow Cassian. Yes, with one disqualification. A train boy blew his engine. That's unfortunate for Train Boy. He was doing
Yeah,
some
that's
pretty
not
strong
a
drafting.
common occurrence.
And if you stick with me, we're just gonna grab some people and start these interview.
You know, I love grabbing people.
So we have the race results. Went through that. So I'm just gonna back out while we go through these interviews. We'll talk to the race leads, and I'll end up taking a look at um, some of the info that occurred. Is there any point in that race that we felt like we should have focused on? Oh, so we'll start here. Actually, Jet, if you don't mind, I kind of want to start with Mike Burkhoff first because what a race from this driver. It was unfortunate what happened last race, but you were able to pull off some great pace. You had a great quality, and you finished strong. How do you feel?
Yeah, obviously much happier with that one. The first one I just wasn't prepared for, and it was totally my fault. It wasn't unfortunate. It was just me being a little bit lazy. I was late to the game.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, but
Yeah, but you had an
this
incident
one
that
was much
occurred
better.
that,
Yeah,
was
that's
out
what
of
I
your
mean.
control. Yeah.
No, no, the first race that was in my control.
Oh,
I just I was battling with Drawleman, and I just made a poor. It's just a poor choice. I didn't give him any room.
okay.
So yeah, but I mean, it was a good race until then. But obviously much happier with this one. One thing that surprised me was the GT4s. You do have to manage your tires. I burnt up my tires a little bit trying to catch those front two. That was probably the best pace I've ever had, like in this Mercedes. And by the time I catch them, you're kind of like out of tires, and you just gotta deal with it, which is fun. It's a good time.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to add is, second to last lap, you and Josh had like a slight, you know, incident. Was it something that could have been avoided?
I don't know. I'd have to watch it again. I don't think so. We were talking about it. We were just kind of side by side there for a
Yeah,
couple
going
of
through those,
turns. Yeah.
those chicanes, and just looked like
Honestly,
you
I
guys a
think
little bit
it's
of
that.
contact.
Yeah, I think it's that last chicane is so tight that like going through there is just hairy. I mean,
Yeah,
side by side through the couple of turns before it, I mean it's manageable, but then when you get into there, it's so tight, it's real difficult.
yeah, and we're looking at that on the replay, and it looks like you're able to straighten out Josh. But um, Jet, do you have anything to add on with for Mike?
No, I mean it was good to see you have a better second race than your first one. I know it must have been frustrating, but you did have a good first couple laps, kind of cutting through the field. So glad you were able to find that same pace and quality and get up there and get on the podium.
Yeah, P2.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Correct.
Woot, woot.
All right, and Josh, you ended up P4. And I know it's got to sting a little bit. You were up there. You did great. and it was really just that that last two chicanes that really kind of got you. And then you had another incident where with Trev as well. Um, yeah, do you feel like that could have been like the issues with that chicane? What Mike was saying could have been avoided?
You're muted, Josh. If you
There we go. So first, I want to say that race got away from me. I had
Okay.
the pace, I had the fastest lap, but I just had no consistency. But I really, really enjoyed the battle with Mike. Going for some risky moves in that chicane. To me, it looked like he pulled out, and so that's why I went a little tight. Just looks
Yeah.
like a racing incident.
Well, and
So
Jet said it
yeah,
himself. Was it your tires that was the issue towards the end?
no, I
No.
I just was struggling with consistency. I'm really trying to learn the car. Second gear, every time I hop it in second gear, I seem to lose the back end. So, and then if I stay in third gear, I'm slow. So I'm just trying to find a balance with the vehicle. And hopefully I can figure it out before next Thursday.
Okay. Jet, you have something to add for Josh?
no, yeah, just from what you said, it kind of looked like a few times I noticed the car kind of get a little wiggly under trail braking. I didn't know if that's what you were talking about when you went down to second versus having to keep it in third. But
Yeah. Once you pop it in second, it just goes out from under you because it's just too high geared in second, or sorry, too low geared in second and too high in third. So it just find balance, trying to find out exactly when to put it in second, if at all. Still trying to learn the car. So
Okay. Well, it was a strong race. I mean, you went from P2 to P4. It's still a great result for you. So congrats.
yeah, not too bad. Like I said, fastest lap, so I'm not mad.
heck yeah,
Yeah.
congrats, buddy.
Thanks, man.
And Riley Manier with the Greendale Community College team, they scored points for the P1 and P2 slots. Riley, I mean, you got to feel great. That's two consistent races for you. I know it's a midseason break, but your team is definitely going to hold a lot of weight going forward.
Yeah, I'm really happy that Mike was able to kind of pull ahead of Josh there. He did great. Really happy that we were able to finish with two guys on the podium today.
Yeah,
How do you feel going into the season? It seems like you guys have obviously proof in the pudding for winning the team championship as well as possibly the drivers' championship. So, how do you?
It's
how do
really
you
early
stay
to say
focused?
that. It's really early to say that. Way too early to say that. We got a lot of drivers here who weren't able to join us tonight. There's a couple really strong teams. So I'm very happy with where we finished, but there's always going to be improvement, and there's always going to be looking forward. We're just going to have to keep looking forward and keep pushing.
Yeah, absolutely. You really, you and Josh
Gotta
really
stay
set the
focused.
pace.
And,
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like Josh said, pace is great, but consistency means the most in this. So that's all I'm trying to be, is consistent.
You definitely showed it.
we certainly were that tonight again at Barcelona, of course. So, good job.
Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And Jet.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a
Yeah.
good one.
Yeah, you too, Josh. And Jet, as we come into a close, do you have anything
Excellent.
to add for this race? Oh, Raza.
No,
That's
it was
Ollie.
just it was good to see exciting battles and good to see some new drivers come in and poke around, and hoping to see our grids fill up for our leagues this season.
Mm-hmm. And
So
one
come
of the
check us out.
yeah, check us out at the Discord. But then one of the open lobby drivers joined the chat just to say that he accidentally punted Miller. So it's unfortunate there. But he is a strong driver. We saw that when we were watching him.
Is it Raza, the one that
Yeah.
we're looking at right now? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he looked like, I mean, he qualified well, so it looks like he can find pace when he gets good laps in. Maybe just needs a little more consistency, but
Yeah.
it's good to see. I mean, this is exactly the type. I mean, if this is exactly the type of driver we want, is somebody that wants to come in here and get better with a bunch of other guys. I mean, we're all getting better here, so we're just all here for the community and
Yeah, absolutely.
we're learning from each other. So
And
glad to see new people.
Yeah, and he was pretty strong when he was in P6, and he did get knocked on the board. But as far as pointers go, Raza, you can join the Discord. Just hit the button, and there's a multitude of drivers that will help you out with whatever car you're in and give you some pointers. And yeah, it'd be best coming from somebody else besides the commentary folks to give you pointers. But yeah, you can join, and everybody's friendly and helpful and willing to, go through an open game with you and tell you how things are going and what you should improve upon. But it was a strong race from everybody, I think. And Jet, if you have nothing more to add, I think we can come to a close.
Oh, yeah, I think we're at a good spot for that. Like I said about the driving, it's the Discord is definitely the crux of the community. So
Yeah.
if you're feeling shy, just hop in and just watch things progress for a little bit and poke around. I think I joined probably a month before I ever said anything to anybody. So I think it's worth it.
Yeah, and also with the Discord and the community, there's, we have different racing events. The seasons are starting next month. So you have your GT4 series that's going to be on this Thursday, and then the GT3 series is on Sundays, as well as the Porsche Cup on Saturdays. And if you have any questions about like the livery customizations and different types of setups, like Jet said, there's an entire community of people here willing to help you at any point.
With that, I'm signing out.
Yep. Jet, take care. Everybody have a good night.
All right. Thanks, buddy.
Mm-hmm.